Good morning, sir. Good morning, students. Dear students, welcome back to the second session of the day, accounts. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible now? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, great. Good morning, guys. Yes, good morning. I hope I'm both audible and visible now. All good to go, right? Okay. So yesterday we had started with a new chapter, which was a new chapter. We started with bills of exchange, right? Yes. So today we will finish it off in the morning session, and in the afternoon we'll start with company's account. So yesterday, if I remember right, I had told you about the basics of bills of exchange. I told you what a bills of exchange is. It's a negotiable instrument, features, promissory note. We discussed all this yesterday, important terminologies. Then we were seeing, how to determine the date of maturity of a bill. So in this, I told you how many types are there. There are three types. Okay, bill at sight, bill after date, and bill after sight. There are three types. Then we discussed about, I first spoke about bill after date and bill after sight. If you remember, yesterday we had taken an example, right? So the example looks something like this. I told you that there are two dates over here. One is the drawing date and the other one is the acceptance date. When do we consider, what dates do we consider for a bill after date? What do we consider for a bill after date? We should add the term of the bill for what? We should add the term of the bill to the date of drawing. Wonderful. To the date of drawing. And what if it is bill after sight? What should we, for what should we add it to? We have to add it to acceptance date. That is date of acceptance. So we discussed all this in the class yesterday. Today we will see one more type of bill, which is the third one. See here, the term of the bill is there. There is a date for which you have to add and all that. But sometimes what happens is we have something called as bill at sight. Bill at sight means there is no term, there is no usance, there is no period of the bill. It is like you, whenever you are getting it for payment, whenever you are, actually presenting it for payment on demand, that is presenting it for payment, we call it as on presentment or on demand bills also. So that is the maturity date. You can't determine it in advance. You can't say when is the maturity date in advance. So in the bill, it will be written that whenever it is presented for payment, you should make the payment. So here there is no specifics about when is what is the term of the bill, or what is the drawing date, what is the acceptance date. All this is irrelevant. We just consider the bill at sight. That means on the date of presentment itself, you have to consider it to be the maturity date. Now here some points to remember is, one, there is no concept of grace period in such bills. Okay, in the case of such bills, there is no concept of grace period. You know, you have these checks, right? When you present it to the bank, it is always on presentment. You will get the payment on presentment, be it a bearer check or be it a normal check. You will get it on presentment. Check is also a negotiable instrument, but it is at sight. Because it is on presentment always. A check is always payable at sight. So that is why for at sight negotiable instruments, we don't have the concept of grace period of that 3 days. Because you have to make the payment on the date on which it is presented, you don't get additional time. So even a check is a negotiable instrument, but it is at sight. If it is at sight, no concept of grace period. I hope this is clear. So that was bill at sight. Here, days of grace is not to be added to calculate the maturity for such types of bill. So whenever it is presented for payment, you have to make the payment. Okay, so this was the discussion. And note, unless specifically given, a bill of exchange is to be considered as bill after date. That means if in the question they have not mentioned anything, they have not mentioned about if it is after sight, or is it at sight, or is it after date. If they have not mentioned, we will consider it as what? Bill after date. Can you tell me, when I say bill after date, what should I add the term of the bill? The term of the bill is to be added to dash. The term of the bill is added to be added at the yes, wonderful, drawing date. We should add it to drawing date. After sight means after acceptance. At sight means these are two different things, right? At sight means on presentment. Demand bill. You can call this as demand bill, on demand bills. So this is like a check. Whenever you are asking for payment, you have to pay. After sight means this is normal bill. There is term of bill, term of the bill and all that over here. But when you add it, you should add it to the acceptance date in the case of bill after sight. So just read the notes once. You will read the slides once. You can pause it later. You can go check the recorded video. If you don't understand this, it's there in your textbook. ICM material has it. So you can refer ICM material and read this. Or if you're not, you can also go watch the recorded video after the class is over and read it off. Okay, so this is about bill after date and bill after sight. I hope everyone is comfortable with this. Now we will do a problem with regards to bill of exchange, shall we? Yes, I think you've got the material. You've got the material for bill of exchange. Now I have put one. Did I put this as homework? Is question 1 mentioned as homework over there? It's not homework, okay? I'm sorry. It's not homework. We will do it in class. No problem, right? It's not mentioned as homework. Okay, okay. It's not homework. If it's not mentioned, good. I think it's not mentioned. In the document you've got, it's not mentioned as homework. Yes, we will do it in the class. It's a comprehensive problem. There are 6 cases, as you can see. It's mentioned as homework, is it? In the document you got also. It's okay, right? We will do it in the class. It's not actually homework. I think I put it by mistake. Okay, let's. Question 2 and 3 are homework, but 1 is to be done in the class. We will do it in the class. How can I give all the 3 problems as homework? Okay, so we will discuss question number 1. So here this is a very comprehensive problem. Here we have different cases. There are 6 cases and very nice problem. Comprehensive covering all the syllabus. Let's do it. Shall we start? Yes. Yes. That's my mistake. I put homework by mistake for the question 1. That is not homework. Okay. Mr. Raj sold goods to Mr. Suman for rupees 50,000 on credit. Suman accepted a bill of exchange payable after 3 months. Record these transactions in the books of both Raj and Suman. Also pass the journal entries in the following independent cases in the books of accounts of both the parties. Okay. So this is first sold. Who sold the goods? Raj sold the goods to Suman. Suman accepted a bill of exchange payable after 3 months. Simple. We can pass entries to this. Then they said record these transactions in the books of both Raj and Suman. Easy. Then they said, there are some more cases, independent cases they have mentioned. After the bill of exchange was accepted, what happened with that bill? This is story number 2. First, a bill was drawn, bill was accepted. That is story number 1. The scene number 2 is different. There are different cases for scene number 2. Okay, scene number 2 is basically what is happening with that bill. So, case 1 is if the bill is held by Mr. Raj, that is, he is not doing anything with the bill, he is keeping it in his cupboard. And what happens in this also, there are 2 cases, 2 sub cases. A is honored on the due date by Mr. Suman, is dishonored on the due date by Mr. Suman, and noting charges of rupees 100 paid. Okay. Case 2, if the bill is discounted by Raj with the bank, same 2 sub cases are there. Honored, dishonored, noting charges is also there. Bill is endorsed by Mr. Raj in favor of, endorsement is there. 3rd case. 4th case, if the bill is held by Mr. Raj, he's kept it in his cupboard, and 1 month before the maturity date of the bill, Suman approaches Raj and requests him to retire the bill early. Retirement of a bill concept is also covered. Case 5, if it is held by Mr. Raj and Suman approaches Mr. Raj on the due date. So this is on the due date to renew the bill. That is renewal concept, wherein he says that I don't have the money right now, I will pay it later on. So that case is also covered under case 5. Case 6, if the bill is if the bill is held by Mr. Raj, this is held by Mr. Raj, and a month prior to the maturity date, Mr. Suman declares himself insolvent. Insolvency is also covered over here. Only 25 paisa on a rupee is recovered from his estate. So we've covered everything over here. Shall we start doing the problem case by case? Yes. I have just split it. I have split the question, and I have for solution, for the easy writing for solution, I have split the question. What you can do is, in your books, leave 2 pages in the books of Raj. For 2 pages, you leave full 2 pages empty in the books of Raj. Write case by case, you go on writing, okay? And then you write in the books of the drawee. Who's the drawee? First, who's the drawer in this question? Drawer is the person who's drawing the bill. That is Raj is the drawer. Who is the drawee? The one who's accepting the bill. Suman. Okay, Suman is the drawee. Now we have to write in both the cases. I will do it case wise. For both the parties, I will discuss individually and go forward. But when you're recording, be careful. 2 pages for the drawer. Are you following what to do? 2 pages for the drawer and drawee books later on. Keep on updating it. We will discuss point by point. Keep on updating it when we go ahead. Ready? Are we ready to go? Yes. Everyone, show some energy. Come on to the chat box and say, hi, hello, how are you? Yes, sir, we're ready to go. We're pumped. Yes, आप आगे चलिए सर, हम आपके साथ हैं, right? Okay, let's continue. Hey, don't spam. Mr. Raj, this is not a homework problem. How did this happen? How did this happen? Okay. Mr. Raj sold goods to Mr. Suman for rupees 50,000. Suman accepted a bill of exchange payable after 3 months. Record these transactions in the books of both Raj and Suman. Okay, it is anyway homework because all of us are at home only. Okay, so it's technically not wrong. So Mr. Raj sold goods to Mr. Suman. Can we pass an entry for sales? What is the entry for sales? Date is not given, so I don't have the date. I'll leave that empty. Suman to sales, right? Suman's account debit to sales account. My favorite entry. Okay. What is the amount? What is the amount? 50,000 rupees. Being goods sold on credit to Suman. Being goods sold on credit to Suman. Next one. Suman accepted a bill of exchange payable after 3 months. I'll have one small point discussion over here. Please be with me. Sir, when is the journal entry to be passed? I want maximum participation for this answer. You have to answer. When is the journal entry passed? Option A, for a bill of exchange. When is it passed? On the date of drawing, on the date of acceptance, depends on the nature of the bill. That is, if it is after sight, or after date, it depends on this. Option D, whenever the drawer is free. That is whenever he has free time. Which one is the answer? A, B, C, or D? Okay. Now, I will ask you a very simple question. A bill is drawn on the drawing date. Is it an asset? Is it an asset on the drawing of the bill? I draw a bill today. Salman Khan has to pay Adarsh Shenoy 1 lakh rupees. Is it an asset for me? I have drawn a bill, right? Will I record it? Will I record an entry in my books? Bills receivable account debit. Can I recognize this asset? So then how is option A? How is it option A? It can never be date of drawing. It can never be date of drawing. Are you all following? When is it a complete bill of exchange? When do we call it as an asset? When the other party also accepts it. When the other party also accepts it. So that is when it becomes a bill of exchange, right? So when should we record it in the books as an asset? When is it to be recorded in the books of as an asset? On the date of acceptance. That is when the date is, when the bill is accepted. That is when it becomes an asset. Don't do stupid mistakes. Think of the logic. Think of the concept. So this is date of acceptance. It doesn't depend on the nature of the bill at all. It doesn't matter if it is after sight or after date. You have to record it when it is an asset. Rohit gives a very nice example. If you propose a girl, we can't tell she's our girlfriend after when we propose itself. She has to accept it, right? If you have to call her a girlfriend. That's a very nice analogy. Okay, anyway. So this is the bill is to be written as an asset, recorded in the books on the date of acceptance. On the date of acceptance. Okay. So now let's continue writing. When the endorsement is received by the other person. Oh, okay, you're talking about girlfriend endorsement, is it? Okay, rubbish. Anyway, now continuing our discussion. Suman's account debit to sales account 50,000. Now tell me, he is accepting a bill. Now, can you tell me what is this account? Is this an asset account? Suman's account is an asset account or liability account? What is this? Suman's account, is it an asset or liability? Quick, guys. It is an asset. It is an asset. Okay, don't use the shortcut. Don't use the first three letters only. Next one, what has happened is now this asset is, this person is accepting a bill. When he's accepting a bill, what happens when he is accepting a bill? We have a new asset and this asset is gone. This was an oral asset. Suman's account is a debtor balance. It's an oral asset. So this asset is going off and a written asset is coming in. Which is that written asset? Which is the document that he is giving? Bills receivable. We call it as bills receivable. So we have to record it because it is an asset for us. We have to recognize a new asset, a document, bills receivable account debit to Suman's account. The oral asset is gone. The debtor balance is to be reduced. So that is why Suman's account is to be credited. I hope everyone is comfortable with this discussion so far. Yes. So 50,000 is to be credited to Suman's account and bills receivable account is to be debited with 50,000. Wonderful. So this is being bill accepted by Suman. Over, right? This is all we had to record. Two things in the books of Raj, the drawer. So we're done. Shall we enter these two transactions even in the books of the drawee? Yes, we will write it in the books of the drawee also. Now in the books of Suman, drawee, first, is it purchases or sales for Suman? What is it? Is it purchases or sales for Suman? 2 full pages you leave and go to the next page. If your handwriting is too big, if your book is too small, leave 3 pages. It's okay. You can draw later. You can draw mountains later if there is extra space. It is purchases for Suman. So what is the entry, credit purchase for Suman? Can you tell me what is the journal entry for in the books of Suman? Purchase account debit, an expense booked to Raj's account, a creditor recognized, 50,000 rupees. Being goods purchased on credit. Being goods purchased on credit. Now, I'm going to accept a bill. When I'm accepting a bill, is that bill an obligation for me or is it an asset for me? What do you think it is? It is an obligation, it is a liability. So should I credit that liability, bills payable, or should I debit that liability? I have to credit that liability. And I had an oral liability called Raj's account. This is a debtor. This is an oral liability we had. Now we have to close this oral liability and we have to recognize the written liability. Are you all following? So Raj's account is to be debited. Raj's account is to be debited. And the written liability, what is the written liability? Bills payable is to be credited. Do not by heart the entry, understand each and every transaction properly, see what is happening with the transaction. being bill accepted by us. Being bill accepted by us. Okay. Done. So the original question is answered. Now, shall we go to independent cases? Scene 1 is done. Scene 1 is done. Now, different scene 2s are there. In scene 2s, we have different scenarios, cases. So we will do it one by one. Also pass the journal entries in the following independent cases in the books of both the parties. Case 1, if the bill is held by Mr. Raj. Now, how you have to write this? Under Raj's books, you have that first 2 or 3 pages you have left, write there case 1. Yes. So case 1, now we're going to discuss. If the bill is honored on due date, if the bill is honored on due date by Mr. Suman, can you tell me what is the entry? What is the journal entry we have to pass if the bill is honored? I have a question. Bills receivable account has what balance? Bills receivable account has what balance? It is an asset for us. It has debit balance. So now he is going to honor it. The bills receivable is going to be honored and the written asset is gone. So what should we do with bills receivable? We have to credit. And we're going to get cash or we're going to get money into our bank account. So cash or bank account is to be debited. So can you tell me the entry for this one? Cash or bank account debit to bills receivable. What is the amount he's going to pay? 50,000 rupees is the amount he's going to pay. Being bill honored on due date. Or maturity date. I told you we use this term due date very, very loosely. It is actually the maturity date, but they call it as a due date also. Understood this much? This is case A. Case 1A. Now, next one is if it is dishonored on the due date by Mr. Suman and noting charges of rupees 100 paid. Now listen to this very carefully. On the due date, the party is not paying the amount. But is the bill expiring? Did the bill expire? Yes or no? Yes. The bill has expired. It is like a check which is outdated. An outdated check. Is it of any use? Is an outdated check of any use? No. Absolutely useless. You use it to write phone numbers. Someone tells you a phone number, you write it on the check, on that outdated check. It's useless. It's a piece of paper. Or you put some sing chana and eat over it. You put something over it and eat. You eat bhajia over it. So that is useless. That piece of paper is useless. Absolutely. So here also the same concept. He honors it or he dishonors it, doesn't matter. The bill receivable, that document becomes useless. What does it become? It becomes useless. So what should you do with that? What should you do with the bill receivable account? You have to credit bill receivable. How much should you credit? You can credit only how much you've debited, right? How much you have credited? Debited earlier 50,000, the face value of the bill. It is the face value of the bill. So 50,000 is to be credited to bills receivable account. Comfortable or not? Yes, comfortable. Now, is dishonored on due date by Suman and noting charges of rupees 100 paid. Can you tell me what is this 100 rupees? What is this noting charges? What is this concept of noting charges? Noting charges is the fees paid to the notary public. I think I discussed this concept in the class when I discussed some other chapter initially, rectification of errors or something, or BRS. I told you, this is an evidence. This notary public puts a seal called protest and he charges this amount for putting that seal. So this is an official it has official significance, it has legal significance. If this seal is put, that means it is officially proven that the bill was actually dishonored on the due date. So that is why the seal is important. Now the seal is put by a person called notary public. Of course, he's a professional just like me, a chartered accountant. We also charge for putting anything on a piece of paper. So he's also going to charge some amount. He's charged 100 rupees for that seal. Now, can you tell me whose expense is this? Whose expense is this? Who is paying it? First of all, who is paying it? At this point, who is paying it? Raj is paying it from his pocket. So is amount going out of my business? Yes. Which account should I credit if money is going out of my business? Cash or bank account is to be credited, right? How much money am I giving? How much money am I paying my notary public? 100 rupees I am paying to my notary public. So cash account is to be credited with 100 rupees. Absolutely no confusion relating to this. Have you understood this? Because I'm going to pay 100 rupees. But is it my expense? Should I book it as my expense? Should I open noting charges account? No, it's not my expense. How is it my expense? I am not, although I am paying it from my pocket, there's a difference, right? Me paying from pocket and my expenses. This is not my expense. It is because of him. I'm going to recover this money from him. He did this. He did this card. It was his card. So he did not pay on time. So he has to incur this. Like for example, when we receive checks, when someone, let's say, pays me some consultancy fees or pays some consultancy fees through a check. Now, if the check is dishonored, if the check bounces, the bank charges something called as service charges on that check. For example, let us say the check was 5,000 rupees. Okay, the check got dishonored or bounced. It bounced for some reason, wrong drafting of the check or something happened with the check. So the check is not passed by the bank. So in such cases, what the bank does is, because you've troubled them, right? You've given a check, they have checked your account and all that. You've troubled them. They charge you some fees for that, which is known as service charges. Let us say they're charging you 250 rupees. Now they're going to remove this money from my account, the person who's depositing the check. So instead of getting 5,000 rupees into my account, 250 rupees is going out of my account. Are you following this? In this case also same thing, right? Instead of getting 50,000 rupees, 100 rupees is going off my account. Similar it is. So what I will do, I will tell the party, I will tell my client, boss, your check got bounced. It was dishonored. Now please pay me not 5,000 rupees. Pay how much? You have to pay 5,250. Make a new check or transfer money 5,250 because 250 rupees is gone from my account. This I'm going to recover from the party itself. So here also same concept. The noting charges is to be recovered from which party? The party who was dishonoring, the party who is not respecting the obligation, the party who is not respecting the legal obligation on that on his head. So we have to, defaulting party, we should hold him responsible. Now, can you tell me how much are you going to recover from Suman? You're going to recover a total of 50,100. So now we are back to where we were. Where we were when we sold the goods, what was he? He was an oral right? We had an oral asset. So now we're going back to that oral asset, which is the debtor balance. So we're going back to that scene again. So we're going to recognize the asset, the debtor. His name is what? Suman, right? His name is Suman. So Suman account is to be, what do we do? Debit. But this time when I debit, how much should I debit? Should I debit 50,000 only? No, I should debit 50,100 rupees because this 100 rupees is towards the noting charges. We're going to recover that noting charges also from him. Are you all comfortable with this? Yes. So can you tell me the journal entry now? The journal entry for case B is Suman's account debit to bills receivable. Bills receivable is always credited with the face value. Remember the step. It is always credited with face value. To one more entry comes. What is the another additional part we have to write? To cash account, right? Why sir cash account? For recording that noting charges also. is a compound entry to cash account. How much is the amount that you will recover from Suman? How much is the amount you will recover from Suman? 50,100. How much is to be credited to bills receivable? The face value of the bill, 50,000. How much is to be credited to cash account? 100 rupees, which is noting charges. Being bill dishonored and noting charges paid. Comfortable so far, everyone? Yes. Can we think with the perspective of Suman now, the person? First, A point. If the bill is honored on the due date by Mr. Suman, now we are going to think from whose perspective? Suman's perspective. Yes, it is wrong. Anusha, you're paying cash. How will you credit noting charges instead of cash? How can you write noting charges account? You're paying cash or bank. Amount outflow is happening. Anusha asks me, sir, can I write noting charges, two noting charges over here? It's absolutely wrong. You cannot write noting charges over there. It is to cash. You have to write it as to cash only. Okay, coming back to this discussion. In the books of Suman, the drawee, yes, it creates a liability. When you credit something, it's creating a liability. Okay, now listen. In the books of Suman, drawee, the drawee, what is that bills payable that we have with us? Is it a liability? Yes, it is a liability. Case A is I'm honoring it, right? I'm honoring in case A. So it's a liability. How am I honoring it? I am paying the amount. The obligation is going off. So bills payable account is to be debited. It's a reduction in liability. Whenever there's a reduction in liability, we know the rules, right? We have to debit. Bills payable account debit to cash or bank. However, I am paying it cash or bank account. So what is the amount? 50,000. I have paid the cash. So the asset goes down. So that is why cash is to be credited because the asset is going down. Being bill honored on the due date. Can I go to the next case? What is the next case? When the bill is, in case 1 only B point, when the bill is dishonored on the due date by Mr. Suman and noting charges of ₹100 paid. Now what is happening? Has the bill payable become irrelevant? Has the bill payable become irrelevant on that date? Yes. On the due date, it expires. It's just a piece of paper now. Do I have a negotiable instrument, written obligation? Is that written obligation still there? No, it's not, because the validity of that obligation has come. It's ended. The due date has come. The maturity date has come. It was valid only for that validity period. Now the validity period is gone. So what should you do with bills payable account? You have to debit it. Okay, you have to debit it. And the party account, who's the party over here? Raj, right? Raj is the party. Raj is to be what? What should we do with Raj? Raj is a creditor now. He's coming back. He's a liability. He's coming back to in my books of accounts. What should I do? We have to credit his account. Okay. Now, is this it? Is this it? No. He is going to recover something from me in addition to that 50,000 rupees. I don't have an obligation of only 50,000 rupees anymore. I have additional obligation towards Raj. Why? Because he is going to eat my head for the noting charges also. That also I have to pay him because he has paid some lawyer. Because I did not respect the bill on the due date, he went to the lawyer and he paid some amount. So that also is going to recover from me. And is it my expense? Is it my expense? It is my expense because I have to bear it from my pocket. So I have to recognize that expense. So noting charges is an expense for us. So I have to recognize that expense. Noting charges is an expense. When you incur an expense, what should you do? Noting charges is an expense, we have to debit. Sir, should I debit cash account? Am I paying cash or am I receiving cash? Why will cash come in over here? See, this is what happens when we buy heart and when we understand the concept. Understand what is happening. Understand the story. It's very easy. So noting charges, whose expense is this? It is my expense. So I have to debit it. How much is to be debited? 100 rupees is the noting charges. 100 rupees is the noting charges. What about the bills payable? Always remember, bills payable is to be debited with the face value, and this noting charges will have to be added to Raj. So if you want to know, this is a compound entry we pass. If you want to know a separate entries for this, I'll quickly tell. This is to cancel the bills payable to Raj. This will come at face value. He is paying an expense on our behalf. If someone pays an expense on your behalf, what is the entry? If someone is paying an expense on your behalf, what is the entry? Expense account is debited and that person who's paying that expense is credited. Yes or no? Expense to party. This is the entry we pass. So here, what is this expense? This is noting charges. Who's paying this expense? The party name is Raj. So noting charges to Raj. We combine this together. This is 100 rupees. So we combine this together and we write bills payable 50,000. Noting charges 100. To Raj 50,100. We have a total obligation of 50,100 towards Raj. This is towards the bill plus the noting charges. So the total obligation is how much? Oh, boys and girls, what is the total obligation? 50,100 is the total obligation. Okay. Understood this? So we have to write this now. Bills payable account is debited. What is the face value of the bill? 50,000 rupees. Noting charges, the expenses is to be recognized. Noting charges account. How much is the expense of noting charges? 100 rupees. I have to recognize the liability, the creditor, who is Mr. Raj over here, Raj account. How much is the total obligation towards Raj now? 50,100 is the total obligation towards Raj. What? I wrote bill over here. No one told me. You're not even reading the narration I read, or aren't you reading anything I'm writing on the screen? Being bill dishonored, gave up. Being dishonored, bill dishonored, and noting charges paid by the drawer. That frustration was nice. We gave up, sir. We are tired of you. Okay. So that is it. Hey, no, yeah, it was fun. I laughed. Okay. So this was in the books of. Okay, you're not format oriented anymore. Okay, can we go to the next case? Case 1 is clear, everyone. I want yes or no. Yes. Case 2 now. We will go to the next case, case 2. What is happening in the second case? If the bill is discounted by Mr. Raj with the bank at a discount of rupees 500 and is honored on the due date by Mr. Suman. Okay, there is discounting happening. First, we will think from whose perspective? The drawer's perspective, Raj's perspective. Okay. Before we go to the bank, bills receivable, this bills of exchange, is it an asset for me or a liability for me? For Raj, I'm Raj now, I'm Raj. Okay, is it an asset for me or is it a liability for me? It is an asset for me. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to discount this bill. Can you tell me what is this concept of discounting? Discounting also I discussed in the class the other day. You go to the banker, you sit with the bank manager in his cabin. How many things does he talk about? How many things does he want to know about? 2 things he wants to know about. You remember all that, right? He will tell what is my money, what is my income out of this, what he will get. And second one is, what if tomorrow it is dishonored? Who is going to take the risk? So these were the 2 things we discussed in the case of discounting. So here also, now we are discounting this bill, we are giving this to the banker. So can you tell me what is the entry when we discount this? When we are giving this bill, when we are handovering the bill, we are giving the bill, we are handing over the bill, handing over the bill. So when you're handing over the bill, he's going to give you cash, right? He's going to give you cash. Let us say, what is the face value of this bill? What is the face value of this bill? 50,000. 50,000 is the face value of the bill. Is he going to give you full 50,000 rupees? No. How much is he going to give you? 50,500, right? No, he's going to give you 49,500. That is, he's going to keep his discount portion of 500 rupees and he's going to give you 49,500. Is everyone comfortable? So 49,500 is the amount that the banker is going to pay you. He's going to put this in your bank account. So bank account is debited with 49,500. Your asset is going up. Have you, because you were in urgency of money, if you had waited for 3 months, you would have got full 50,000. Now you wanted it immediately. That is why you're going and getting this money. When you do this, there's a cost, right? It will come at a cost. Everything comes at a cost. So this also comes at a cost. What is this cost? Discounting charges. How much is the discounting charges? 500 rupees. So we have to record that expense. It is an expense. This is basically like, taking money early. It's like taking a loan. You're paying some amount, you're paying a cost and you're getting that money. You had to wait for 3 months, but you want it immediately. So you are giving up an asset and getting that money. So you're going to get lesser amount. How much is the amount you're going to get as, what is the expense? Discount account. How much is the amount? 500 rupees. This is to be debited to discount. You had a piece of paper. What is that piece of paper? Bills receivable. You gave this piece of paper to whom? The banker. So do you still have it with you? No. It's gone. The asset is gone. That asset is gone. What should I do now? I should credit bills receivable. Because you have handed it over to the banker. So that means your asset is gone. So 50,000 is to be credited. I hope everyone is comfortable with this. Yes. If it was Raj and Simran, it would have been even better, right? Okay. It's Raj and Suman. Being bill discounted with the bank. Okay, next one. What if it is honored? It's honored on the due date. You have given the bill to the bank. Suman is going on the due date to the bank and paying the money. Are you involved in this transaction? Are you involved in this transaction? Not at all. It's not going to make a difference to you because the banker is going to collect the money. He's going to keep the money. I am not involved in this one at all. My bill I have already credited that bill receivable. I don't have the document. I don't have anything. I'm not getting any money. So absolutely no effect in my books of accounts. So we don't have to pass entry for honor of the bill. We don't have to pass any entry for honoring the bill. Is everyone comfortable with this? Here, what has happened is now we have we have given the bill to the banker. The banker has taken the bill. Asset is gone. I don't have the asset. Suman is going on the due date to the bank and paying to the bank. It's not going to make any difference for me there is no entry in my books of accounts because I am not incurring any expense, no asset, no gains, nothing coming in, nothing going out, no liability, no asset, nothing is happening with me. Absolutely no difference to me if he's honoring the bill. Understood this? Yes or no? Yes, we've understood this. So this is case A. This was case A. No, now case B. If it is dishonored on the due date by Mr. Suman and noting charges of ₹100 paid. Now I had told you two things we discussed with the banker when we go and talk to him, when we discount the bill. The two things is, first one is about what is the banker's income. We tell discount, you can keep some amount. He kept 500 rupees over here. Second thing he's going to talk about is risk. We will talk about the risk now. What is the manager going to tell? The manager is going to tell when we go for discounting, when we are taking the bill and going for discounting, the manager is going to tell, oh, look, boss, good, I'm going to get some income. The first point is sorted. 500 rupees is my income on this. No problem. But what if tomorrow Suman doesn't turn up? What if Suman is not coming to the bank to pay 50,000? Where will I go? So that I will tell him, I am Raj, I am telling the bank manager, oh bank manager, don't worry. If Suman is not coming, if Suman dishonors the bill, anyway, you have my bank account because I am only his customer, I am his customer. So bill is discounted only if you're the bank's customer. So you have my bank account. You take money from my account. Bindas. You take money from my account if Suman is not coming on the due date to pay the amount. Did you understand this? It's a trading account. It's generally a trading account. The bank will look at the security and all that. So there will be balance or it will go into negative overdraft. Don't worry about all that. So we are paying from our bank account this amount. So can you tell me what should I do with my bank account? Should I credit or debit? I have to credit because Suman has not turned up to the bank on the due date. The banker is going to take money from my account. So the banker is going to credit my, banker is going to take money. That means my asset bank account balance is going to come down. So I have to credit the bank account. Can you tell me how much is the bank going to credit? Or how much is the bank going to remove from my account? How much is the bank going to remove from my account? Are they going to take, I'll give you options, 49,500, 49,600, 50,000 or 50,100. What do you think they're going to take from your account? Okay, I'm getting a mixture of answers. People are saying Sir C, some are saying Sir D. Now, is the banker, what has happened? The banker has paid this noting charges. What is this noting charges? To the lawyer. They have also gone to the lawyer, the notary public, and they have paid this 100 rupees towards noting charges. From my account, when they are taking out, are they going to recover this 100 rupees also from me, or will they pay it from their pocket? It is not their expense. Why should they pay it from their pocket? At that point of time, they might have paid, but they're going to recover that money from me because it is not their expense. Can you tell me whose expense is this at the end of the day? Whose expense is this? Is this my expense? No, I will not bear this expense. Whose expense is this? Suman's expense. Because Suman did this kand. Suman was the one who did not turn up on the due date. So it is his expense. But the banker will remove that amount from my bank account itself. So my bank account balance will go down by 50,100 rupees, including the noting charges. Did you all follow this? So 50,100 is credited. Now, can you tell me what is coming back? Who is going to come back into my accounts now? Suman is going to come back into my accounts. We are going to debit Suman or credit Suman. Suman is an asset now or Suman is a liability? Suman is an asset. You're going to recover this money from Suman. How much are you going to recover from Suman? Only 50,000 or 50,100? you're going to recover full 50,100 from Suman. Full 50,100 from Suman, you're going to recover. That 100 rupees is not your expense. Don't book it as your expense. It is not your expense. It is Suman's expense. So the journal entry is Suman's account debit to bank account. Have you followed this? Yes. So the journal entry we should pass is bank account debit to Suman's account. When the bill is dishonored, sorry, Suman's account debit to bank account. Yes. Suman's account debit. The asset is coming back into our books, this time at 50,100, including the noting charges. You're going to recover that from Suman. The bank is going to take from your account. The bank is going to debit your account in their books, and you have to reduction in balance, basically 50,100. Yes. Sir, who goes to the notary public? Who goes to the notary public? The one who has the bill goes to the notary public. The one who has the physical possession of the bill. In this case, who has the physical possession of the bill? The bank has the physical possession of the bill. So whoever has the physical possession of the bill, because you have to put a seal over that, right? Are you following? You have a seal over that. You have to put a seal over that. So the person who has the physical possession of that bill of exchange goes to the bank. So here, goes to the notary public. Here the bank has the physical possession of the bill. So the banker will go and get it protested. So the entry is, the narration is being bill dishonored. 1 minute. Being discounted bill. Being bill which was discounted earlier. Dishonored. Dishonored. Can I go to the next one? That is in the books of Droy, in the books of Suman. Can we think from Suman's angle? Yes. First, let's look at what is happening. If the bill is discounted by Mr. Raj, what is the entry when the drawer is discounting the bill with the bank? In the books of Droy, should we pass any entry? The answer is no. Why, sir? Why no entry? Because how is it impacting me as a drawee? I have accepted an obligation. I haven't accepted an obligation. There is a written document. In that bill of exchange, it is written that I have to pay Mr. Raj or his order. I have to pay it. It's written over there. I have to pay the Mr. Raj or his order or the bearer of the bill, whatever is written over there. It is written clearly that I have to pay that person. Is it going to change my position over here? No, it's not changing my position over here at all, because I have to still pay that amount. I have to still pay that amount. I have to still pay that amount to someone, but I have to pay that amount. So it doesn't change my position at all. So I don't have to pass any entry for this. All that is changing is the address of payment. Instead of paying the Mr. Raj, I have to pay the banker. His banker I have to pay. So other than that, nothing is changing for me. So we don't pass an entry for change of address. No entries to be passed for that. So here the entry is no entry when the bill is discounted by the drawer. A case. Let's go to case A now. What is case A saying? It is honored by me on due date. I have honored the bill on due date. What is the entry? The liability is coming down. Bills payable account is to be debited. I'm paying cash, right? Bank or cash. Whatever I'm paying to the bank account is to be credited. So, or cash account also you can write. How much is the amount I'm going to pay? I'm going to pay 50,000, the face value of the bill. I'm honoring the bill, so I have to pay 50,000 rupees. So this is being bill honored on due date. Sir, now what if the bill is dishonored? Second, B case is what if the bill is dishonored? Can you tell me what should I debit? Bills payable, the liability, this piece of paper, is it becoming irrelevant? Yes, it's becoming irrelevant. On the due date, I pay it or I don't pay it. I respect it or I don't respect it. I have to debit this account because this bills payable becomes irrelevant. It becomes a piece of paper. It is not a negotiable instrument anymore. So that is why we have to debit bills payable. What else should we debit? Or rather, let's talk about credit. What should I credit? The party. Who's the party? Which party should I pay the amount to? Towards whom did I have obligation? Raj. So Raj is coming back into my books. But how much should I pay him? Should I pay him now? Is the obligation limited to only 50,000 rupees? Is it only to the bill of exchange? Is it limited only to the face value of the bill? No, sir. It's not limited to only the face value of the bill. Now we have to pay 50,100. Why 50,100? 50,000 is towards the face value of the bill. Another 100 rupees is towards what? Noting charges. Another 100 rupees is towards noting charges. Is that noting charges my expense? Yes, it is my expense. So should I book it as an expense? Yes, I should book it as an expense. So debit noting charges. How much should you debit noting charges? 100 rupees. So basically you're passing two entries. One is bills payable to Raj. The face value of the bill is 50,000. And one more towards the expense that is paid by not Raj, but his bank is paying it. He's paying it for me because the bank is going to take 100 rupees from his account, right? So that is why Raj is paying it on my behalf at that point. So we credit Raj. I have to pay this amount to Raj. My obligation is towards Raj for that noting charges amount also. So these two entries we combine and we pass bills payable account debit, noting charges account debit to Raj account 50,100. Can we pass the entry for that? Are you all comfortable? Are you all following? Bills payable account is debited 50,000. No, bills payable is always debited or credited with the face value, which is 50,000 rupees. Noting charges is to be debited. Noting charges is an expense. How much should we debit noting charges with? 100 rupees. To Raj, how much is my obligation towards Raj now? How much should I credit to his account? 50,100. This is being bill dishonored and noting charges paid. Just write noting charges, don't write who paid it and all that. Noting charges paid. It's being paid by the Raj banker, which is recovering from Raj and all that story. Kate Purana, you don't have to write. Can I go to case 3? Are you comfortable with case 2? We passed entries in both the books for case 2. Now case 3. What is case 3? If the bill is endorsed by Mr. Raj in favor of Mr. Sanjay. Okay. I have a question. Look at this. Why would Raj be giving an asset to Mr. Sanjay? Who the Sanjay could be? Can you tell me who the Sanjay could be? Why am I giving him an asset? Sanjay is a liability, right? He is my creditor. So instead of paying cash to him, I am giving what? A bill of exchange to him. I am giving an asset. I could have given him furniture. I could have given him, one table. I could have given him one TV. I could have given him one computer. I could have given him cash. I could have given him a building. I could have given him a piece of land. I could have slapped him with chips. I could have given him any of this. I choose to give him what? I choose to give him what? A bill of exchange. Okay, or a friend in need. Okay, that was also possible. Accommodation. Anyway, so this I am giving because I have to pay an amount towards Sanjay. So what will we call this Sanjay as? Who is this party? Is actually my creditor. Sanjay is the creditor. So could you tell me what is this process known as when we are endorsing it? What is this process known as? We call this as endorsement. This is known as endorsement. When I'm endorsing, I become the endorser. The person who's endorsing becomes the endorser. So who is the endorser over here? Raj is the endorser over here. Who is the endorsee over here? The person to whom it is endorsed is known as the endorsee. Who is the endorsee over here? Sanjay is the endorsee over here. Okay. Now let's talk about the journal entry for endorsement first. How much is the what is the journal entry we have to pass? First of all, what is happening with the bill receivable? Bill receivable was your asset. You are giving that asset to someone. What should you do with the bill receivable account? Should you debit it or credit it? This asset is going off, right? So whenever an asset goes off, you have to credit that asset. So 50,000 is to be credited. What about Sanjay? Who was Sanjay? Who was Sanjay? Sanjay was a creditor. Your liability, you're giving him an asset. So your liability towards Sanjay is coming down or going up? Your liability towards Sanjay, is it coming down or going up? It is reducing, it is going down. When the liability goes down, what should you do? You should debit that liability account. Yes or no? So here the Sanjay account is to be debited 50,000 rupees. So Sanjay's account debit to bills receivable account 50,000 rupees. Comfortable or not? Sanjay account is debited with 50,000 rupees to, in the case of endorsement, generally there will be no discount and all, bills receivable account. Because you have to make him a payment, you're making him a payment on that date, not through cash, you're paying him through a bill. So that is not discounting, it is not discounting. You're not taking some money in advance from him. Probably he had to pay after 3 months. He has to accept the bill. No, the endorsement is a two-way transaction. Being bill endorsed to Sanjay. Can you tell me what is the next one? What is the entry for A case? It is honored on the due date by Mr. Suman. Is it going to make any difference to me? Is it going, if he is going and paying Sanjay on the due date, is it going to make any difference to me, Mr. Raj? No, it's not going to make any difference to me. Why, sir? Because as I mentioned, just like the bank, in the case of discounting with the bank, the banker was receiving the money. Here, the endorsee is going to receive the money. It's not going to make any difference absolutely to the drawer or to the endorser in this case, which is Raj. It is not going to make any difference to me. It's just like, in this case 2, when we discussed about the bank, it was the bank involved over there. Here, a person is involved over here. So for the Raj, that is the drawer or the endorser, it's not going to make any difference when the bill is honored. No entry for honoring, or no entry when the endorsed bill is honored. When the endorsed bill is honored. Sorry. Okay. So no entry for this. When the endorsed bill is honored, we don't pass a journal entry. What if it is dishonored? Let's look at the case B. What is case B happening? If the bill is dishonored on the due date by Mr. Suman and noting charge of ₹100 is paid. Sanjay was a creditor. Let's talk about Sanjay first. Sanjay was a creditor. You gave him an asset. You said, this bill's receivable is your asset. I'm transferring a right to receive the money. Sanjay also accepted the bill. He took this bill. He agreed to take that bill. Now on the due date, Suman is not turning up to pay Sanjay. Suman is not paying Sanjay on the due date. What is Sanjay going to do? Sanjay is going to call me up and say that, boss, it was dishonored. Now you have to pay me the amount. He's not going to chase, Suman, right? He's not going to chase Suman. Suman is someone else for him. Suman, he doesn't even know who Suman is. Sanjay knows me. I'm the one who gave him this bill. So he will say that you have to pay me now. How much should I pay Sanjay now? Sanjay is coming back to my books. Do I have an obligation towards Sanjay, or is Sanjay an asset for us? What is Sanjay for us? He's an obligation for us. Now again, the obligation, the creditor is back in the books. So we have to credit. He's a liability. How much should we pay Sanjay? Should we pay him only 50,000 now? Will he be happy with only 50,000 rupees? Or should you pay him 50,100 rupees? You have to pay him 50,100 rupees. He's going to say that, boss, I paid noting charges. He's paying this noting charges of 100 rupees. So he's going to say, boss, that noting charges is not my expense. You have to pay me 15,100. So when I book an obligation towards Sanjay, my liability towards Sanjay is 50,100 rupees. Are you getting this? Did you follow this? Yes. And what about the other party? Who's the other party involved over here? Suman. Suman is an asset for me or a liability for me. Suman is an asset now. I get a right to recover money. How much money can I recover from Suman? How much am I going to recover from Suman? Am I going to recover only 50,000 rupees from Suman? No. I'm not going to recover only 50,000. I'm going to recover 50,100. So that 100 rupees is not my expense, not Sanjay's expense. Whose expense is that 100 rupees? The person who defaulted, the person who made the mistake. Who made the mistake of dishonoring the bill? Suman made the mistake of dishonoring the bill. So whose expense should it be? It must be Suman's expense. So the entry is, when the bill is dishonored, we have to pass an entry, Suman's account debit to Suman's account is debited to Sanjay's account. Sanjay is a creditor, Sanjay is a liability, so Sanjay's account is to be credited. How much is the right that I have over Suman now? 50,100 is the right I have over Suman. And how much is the liability I have to create towards Sanjay now? 50,100 is to be the liability towards Sanjay. So I will recover 50,100 from Suman and I have to pay Sanjay 50,100 rupees. Did you understand this? Yes. Okay. Can I go to the next case? Are we done with endorsement? Yes, we're done with endorsement. Can we go to the next case? What is the next case? Case 4. Oh, endorsees books. Shall we pass some entries in the books of endorsee also quickly? Yes, in the books of endorsee, some entries. You can pass it later. Leave the pages, leave 5 pages and write being billed dishonored. The narration for that point. Being billed dishonored. And noting charges paid by Sanjay. This was in Suman's books. Oh, I wrote it over here. Sorry. Oh, we did not do Suman's books, right? We did not do Suman's books. We'll do first Suman's books and then go to the endorsees books. Shall we do the Suman's books first and then we will do the endorsees books? Okay. Suman's book for case 3. First, when the bill is endorsed. When the bill is endorsed, what is the entry? in the endorsees, in the drawees books, in the Suman's books. No entry is to be passed in the books of the drawee. Why, sir? Why no entry is to be passed? Because what difference does it make to me? In the bill of exchange, already it was written that I have to pay the drawer or his order or any person who has the bearer of the who has the bill, who has the physical possession of the bill. I have to pay it. It was written on the bill of exchange when I accepted it. So now when it is being endorsed, it absolutely makes no difference to me. To me, it's not going to make any difference. I'm Suman, okay? It's not going to make any difference to me. So I will not pass any entry. All that is changing is what? What is changing over here? Address, right? Payment address is changing over here. Yes. Yes. Now case A, when the bill is honored, what is the entry when the bill is honored? I am paying the bill. So bill payable on the due date, bill payable is always to be debited because this becomes a piece of paper. You have to debit bill payable. 2, I'm honoring the bill. That means I'm making a payment, cash or bank account. Is Sanjay going to come over here? It doesn't make a difference to whom I'm going to pay. Cash or bank is going to be credited over here because I'm paying in cash. How much is the amount? 50,000 rupees is the amount. Being bill honored on the due date. Now I have a question. What if the bill is dishonored and noting charges has been paid? Sir, should I debit bills payable? Should I debit bills payable? Yes, bills payable is to be debited. Why, sir? Because that obligation, that written obligation is irrelevant now. It is redundant now. The due date has come, the maturity date has come. That means the bill of exchange has become redundant, irrelevant. So we have to debit bills payable. Can you tell me what is the amount that I have to debit to bills payable account? How much should I debit to bills payable account? The face value of the bill. The face value of the bill. Is there an expense that we have incurred now? Have we incurred an expense? We've not paid for it, but have we incurred an expense? Yes. What is that expense? Noting charges. Should we recognize that expense? Yes, sir. We have to recognize that expense. Noting charges account is to be debited. How much is the noting charges? 100 rupees. My obligation, I have to pay someone now, right? Who I have to pay? Who this amount is to be paid to? This amount is to be paid to Raj. So there's a liability and obligation. We are recognizing an obligation. Raj is an obligation. How much should I pay Raj? How much am I going to pay Raj? What is the obligation? Total obligation will be 50,100 rupees. Because 50,000 is towards the bill which I dishonored, 100 rupees towards the noting charges, the expenses which he has paid. It is my expense, so I have to pay him this amount. Total amount payable to Raj is 50,100. Okay, can we discuss in the books of endorsee quickly? That's it, right? In the books of the drawee, this is it. So in the books of endorsee also we'll discuss what is happening. Right from the beginning, we will discuss in the books of endorsee. Sir, Shailesh is asking, actually the amount is payable to Sanjay. Is it true? Is it true that I have to pay to Sanjay? No, my obligation is towards Raj. I have to pay Raj. that originally I had to pay Sanjay because he had the bill. That's all. Now bill is also gone. The bill of exchange is also gone. So I have to pay to Raj. Yes. Now, in the books of endorsee. Yes. Let's discuss in the books of endorsee. Are you all with me? Right from the beginning. Let's see if what we have to record, what shouldn't we record. First thing, when the bill is when the sales is made by Raj to Suman, should we record that over here? When Raj is selling goods to Suman on credit, should we record it over here? Obviously not. When the bill is accepted by Suman, should we record it over here? When the bill is accepted by Suman, should we record it over here? No, it doesn't make a difference to me. Should I record it when the bill is endorsed to me by Raj? Yes. Who is Raj to me? Is Raj an asset or Raj is a liability? What do you think he is for me? Raj is an asset, right? Raj is a debtor. He's giving me an asset now. He's giving me a bill. He's a debtor for me. So now what is Raj going to do? Raj is going to give me some asset, it seems. What should I do with this asset? I should debit this asset. Bills receivable is debited. Who is giving me this asset? Raj is giving me this asset. Raj is a debtor. Raj is an asset. Is my Raj? Okay. Is my asset coming down or is my asset going up? The asset is going down. When the asset is going down, we have to credit. Is that correct? So what is the entry we have to pass? Bills receivable account debit to Raj account. We have to credit Raj. How much is the amount? 50,000 rupees. Being endorsement received from Raj. Okay, can I go to the case A now? If the bill is honored on the due date by Mr. Suman, now remember, I have a document. What document I have? What document I have? Bills receivable I have. I have a document, remember. On the due date, that bill receivable is going to turn into Bajia plate, right? It's honored, it's dishonored. It's going to turn, bill receivable is going to become Bajia plate, or it is going to Shenga plate. It's going to become a Shenga, rocket or whatever. It's going to become that on the bill, on the due date. Kadale, correct. Yes. So now on the due date, remember, without fail, we have to credit that bill receivable account. Honored or dishonored, we have to credit bill receivable. In the party of the drawee, the person who had accepted that bill, honored or dishonored, we have to debit that bill payable account on the due date, on the maturity date, that is to be debited, no matter if you are honoring it or dishonoring it. We saw in every case you see A and B in the bill, in the books of drawee. Any case you see in the books of drawee, you have always debited bills payable account. You've always debited bills payable account, no matter what. In the books of drawer, on the due date, you have always credited bills receivable account. If you had that document, whoever has that document, whoever is holding that, the bearer of that document has credited the bill receivable account on the maturity date, because that bill receivable has turned into a pure Shenga plate. Okay, now coming back to this. So I have the bill, I'm the endorsee. What should we do? We have to credit the bills receivable. Remember, bills receivable is to be credited. Am I paying? And okay, we are receiving the money, right? We're also receiving the money. We are receiving the money. It's honored, right? It's honored. So cash or bank is to be debited. So what is the entry we have to pass when it is honored? Cash or bank account debit to bill receivable account. 50,000 rupees. Are you all comfortable with this? This is being bill honored on the due date. What if the bill is dishonored on this date and I am paying noting charges of 100 rupees? What if the bill is dishonored on this date and I'm paying noting charges of 100 rupees on this date? So here, what should I credit? One constant credit. What should I credit? The bill receivable should be credited. Yes or no? Because this is becoming irrelevant, redundant. How much should I credit to bills receivable? The face value of the bill. What is the face value of the bill? 50,000 rupees is the face value of the bill, which is to be credited to bills receivable account. Is this it? No. I'm also paying something towards noting charges because I'm the holder of the bill. I'm the endorsee. I have the bill. I'm going and getting it protested. I'm paying noting charges. So when I pay noting charges, how do I pay it? How do I pay it? What is happening? Cash or bank is going. So should I debit cash or bank or should I credit cash or bank? This is for noting charges. I am paying amount, cash or bank. Money is going out. So credit cash or bank. I have to credit. How much is the noting charges I have paid? 100 rupees is the noting charges I have paid. Now, could you tell me what am I going to do with this? Sir, can we write noting charges over here? No, yeah. Why can you write? How can you write noting charges over here? Where did you write noting charges? Why is everyone asking me that question? Why should we credit? No, shouldn't we credit noting charges? Is what I got 3 times. I got this question from 3 people. They're saying we will not credit cash or bank. We will credit noting charges. No, you should not credit noting charges. How will you credit noting charges? If you ask me debit, at least I can understand. Why are you crediting noting charges? How? Noting charges, you're booking it as a liability. What are you doing? Okay, you are paying noting charges of 100 rupees. Now, you're going to recover this. You're writing it as income or what when you're crediting noting charges. You can't credit noting charges. Okay. So now, whose account is to be debited? Whom are we going to recover this money from? We are going to recover this money from Raj's account. Raj's account. How much are we going to recover from Raj's account? I mean, from Raj, 50,100. So what is the journal entry for this? Raj account debit to bills receivable to cash or bank account. The total money receivable from Raj. Raj was the one who gave me this bill. Raj was the person who gave me this bill. So I'm going to recover from him 50,100 rupees. Hey, what did I do? I'm writing in wrong party's books. No, not here. Okay. So now, here, listen, we have to debit Raj's account in the books of the endorsee. This is case 3. Yes, in the books of endorsee, we have to debit Raj's account. Bills pay receivable account is to be credited with 50,000 rupees. And I have paid noting charges. Noting charges will be paid in cash. So to cash, 100 rupees. Yes. Are you all comfortable with this? So this is being bill dishonored and noting charges paid by us. We are the endorsees. We are paying the noting charges, but it is not our expense, but we are paying it right now. Which we are going to recover from the person who gave us the bill. Can I go to the next case? So we are done with case 3. Now case 4. If the bill is held by Mr. Raj and Mr. Suman approaches Mr. Raj 1 month before the maturity date of the bill and requests to retire the bill early at a rebate of 12% per annum, to which Mr. Raj agrees. Okay, this person is coming. And sir, will this come for exams? This question? No, this will not come for exams. One independent point will come for exams. Okay, any one case might come for exams. We are discussing it together instead of starting a question and again ending it. So I'm discussing everything together to save time. Okay, now can you tell me, if the bill is held by Mr. Raj and Mr. Suman approaches Mr. Raj, 5 marks question, Ritik. 1 month before the maturity date of the bill and requests to retire the bill early at a rebate of 12% per annum, to which Mr. Raj agrees. So can you tell me what is the entry for this? On the due date, Suman is coming early and telling me that he wants to pay me early. But he wants a discount. He wants me to give a discount because he's come to me before the due date itself, 1 month before the due date. So he wants a discount. Can you tell me, if I accept this proposal, how much is the discount amount I have to give him? I have to calculate it on the basis of 12% per annum. On what amount? What is the bill amount? 50,000 was the bill amount. Should I directly calculate 50,000 into 12%? No, it is per annum interest rate. So he's paying how many months early? How many months early he's paying? He's paying 1 month early. So you have to multiply it with 1 by 12. So how much is the discount amount? The amount of discount is, some are saying 500, some are saying 600. How is that possible? 500. Can I take that number? So the amount of discount is, I took 100. The difference between 600 and 500. Okay. 500 is the amount of discount. Now, listen to this. What is the journal entry? Should I credit on the date of honoring the bill? He's come and early honor of the bill. What should I do? I have to, with the bills receivable. What is the bills receivable? It's not yet become Shenga plate. It has not yet become Shenga plate. But because he's honoring now, we have to tear it, right? It becomes Shenga plate now. We have to put a cut. Because he is coming earlier and he's saying that he's going to pay the bill. So we have to credit the bill. How much should we credit? What is the face value of the bill? What is the face value of the bill? 50,000 is the face value of the bill. Is he going to pay me full 50,000? No. How much is he going to pay me? Bank or cash? He's going to pay me only 49,500 because he asked for discount, so we have to give him a discount. How much is the discount? Is this my expense? Is discount what I've given? Is it my expense? Yes, it is my expense. So you can call it discount allowed, or you can call it rebate allowed also. How much is the discount? 500 rupees. So the journal entry is in the books of drawer, bank account debit, discount account debit, You can write anything, no problem. If you write discount, it is better because it is discount being given over here. So discount is better, discount account debit. Even if you write rebate, it is not wrong. To bills receivable account. How much is the face value of the bill? 50,000 is the face value of the bill. How much is the amount that we are receiving? 49,500 is the amount we are receiving. How much is the discount amount we have given? What is the amount of discount we have allowed? 500 rupees is the amount of discount we have allowed. So collectively the entry is this. What is this concept known as? Why Suman? He is paying the amount, no Harsha. When he's paying the amount, you're receiving cash. Why will you debit Suman? What is this concept known as? This concept is known as retirement of a bill. Retirement of a bill. We have covered this concept over here. So when we're discussing this question, if you've noticed, we have discussed discounting, we have discussed early pay, the noting charges, we have discussed endorsement, we have discussed dishonor of an endorsed bill, dishonor of a discounted bill, we have discussed now retirement of a bill. So everything what is possible under the scenarios has been discussed over here. Being bill retired, we are cancelling the bill. No, bill receivable is being cancelled. When we credit bills receivable, that means you're cancelling that bill. You're cancelling that right. Being bill retired 1 month. Why is this dancing? 1 month prior to the due date. By allowing a discount. Did you follow this? Yes. Any other entries to be passed for this? Should we pass any other entry for this in this book? No. Over, done. Now we will go to the drawee's books. When the drawee is paying early, what is the entry for him? He had a bill payable, right? He had an obligation. Is the obligation going off? Yes, the obligation is going off. So bills payable is to be, the written obligation is being honored early. So it is to be debited. How much is the amount? 50,000 is the amount. 50,000 is to be debited. 2, how much cash are we paying? Cash or bank? We're paying through cash or bank, right? How much is the cash we are paying? 49,500. Are we paying all of 50,000? No, we've got a discount. Book that income. What should you do when there is income? Credit income or debit income? What do we do when it is an income? This is discount received by us, or this is rebate received by us. We have to credit, right? So we have to credit the rebate or discount. If you can write, the term rebate is used generally when it is an income. So that is why I will use the term rebate over here. Being bill retired 1 month earlier than the due date and discount received. Are you all comfortable? No problem. No, they'll not deduct marks. Don't worry. You write rebate or you write discount, the valuer is not going to reduce marks. Can I go to case 5? Yes. What is case 5? If the bill is held by Mr. Raj and Mr. Suman approaches Mr. Raj on the maturity date to renew the bill, and Mr. Raj agrees on a condition that 20,000 is paid in cash immediately along with interest on the remaining amount at 12% per annum for 2 months, and for the remaining balance, Mr. Suman must accept a new bill after 2 months. Push. Did it fly over your head? Okay, read the question once and try to understand what they have told. Yes, yes. Now they have told that he's coming on the due date, on the maturity date. Suman is going to the to Raj. Suman has gone to Raj, and he's requested Raj. He's requesting Raj. Right? What is he doing? He's requesting Raj. And he's telling Raj that, boss, see how creative I am. He's requesting Raj and he's saying that, please cancel the bill. Please cancel the bill. And, I will agree for whatever condition you're saying. I don't have 50,000 rupees on the due date. He doesn't have 50,000 rupees. Okay, he's saying what on the due date? It's a high five, I know, but in India we use it as namaste. Okay, so Suman is requesting Raj that please cancel the bill. I don't have 50,000 rupees. So Raj agrees, but Raj says, boss, I will agree. 2 conditions. How many conditions? 2 conditions. Condition number 1, what he's saying is, on the condition that 20,000 is paid in cash along with interest on the remaining amount. How much is the total amount? How much is the total amount? 50,000 was the total amount. Is that correct? In this, how much am I paying right now? Now, how much am I paying? 20,000. Later, how much am I paying? 30,000. So, how much am I paying late? What is the delay? With regards to how much amount am I going to make a delay? I'm going to make a delay with regards to how much? 30,000 rupees. So we have to pay interest along with this. Remember, whenever you are asking for renewal, that person is going to say you have to pay interest. Now, what is the interest rate that he's asking for? He's asking for 12% per annum. Later means after how many months? After how many months this is? After 2 months. So now I have to calculate interest. Can you tell me on what amount should I calculate interest? 50,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees? Should I calculate interest on the whole of 50,000 rupees? The answer is no. I should not calculate interest on the whole of 50,000 rupees. I should calculate interest only on 30,000 rupees. Now the next question will arise. What is the interest amount? Interest amount is 30,000 rupees into 12 by 100, 12% they have said, into what? 2 by 12. Don't forget to do 2 by 12 because it is for 2 months. So that is 600. This is the interest. Now, when am I paying this interest? When am I paying this interest? Am I paying this interest now or am I paying it later? I am paying it now because they have clearly mentioned that 20,000 is paid in cash immediately along with the interest on remaining amount. Along with. That means along with the 20,000 rupees, you have to pay the interest amount also. So how much should I be paying in cash right now? I have to pay 600 rupees, 20,600 rupees in cash right now. And then he has told second condition. What is the second condition? For the remaining balance, I have to accept a new bill. What is the remaining balance? 30,000 rupees. For 30,000 rupees, I have to accept a new bill. Now, question can be a little different over here. Here they have said upfront only, now only we are paying the face value, that is 20,000 plus 600. 20,600 we are paying. In this question, they have mentioned like that. One more scenario could be that 20,000 plus, pay 20,000 now, balance plus interest on that balance, pay it later. That is 30,600 you pay later. Through a new bill, you accept a new bill. That possibility is also there. You just have to read the sentence and understand that. But here they have said that we are going to pay the amount upfront, the interest amount upfront. So I will pass detailed entries. Please pay attention. I'll pass the detailed entries. Ready? First, to cancel, he's coming and asking me to cancel. He's requesting me to cancel the bill. What should I do to cancel the bill? What should I do to cancel the bill? I have to pass the entry. Who's the party involved over here? Suman. So Suman account is to be debited. So we're just cancelling the bill. I'm passing detailed entries, okay? So this is to cancel the bill receivable. Being bill cancelled. Then we're charging him interest. Is this interest income or interest expense for us? Can you tell me, is this interest income or interest expense for us? Interest, it is interest income. So we will recognize that income, it is receivable from Suman. So Suman's account debit to interest account, interest income account. How much is the interest? How did we calculate, sir? Interest is to be calculated on remaining balance. Shreyas, pay attention. On the remaining amount. How much is the total amount? 50,000 rupees was the total bill amount. In that 20,000 rupees is being paid upfront. Remaining amount is 30,000 rupees. So 30,000 rupees, you have to calculate interest on that. So that is 30,000 rupees into 12% into what? 2 by 12 for 2 months. So the amount is how much? 600. This is being interest on remaining balance recorded. Now, can you tell me what is the next entry for? What is the next entry going to be? He's paying some amount in cash, right? Before I go there, let's do an analysis, one small analysis we will do. Can you tell me Suman's account has debit balance or credit balance? I'm just passing detailed entries. Wait, have patience. Suman's account has debit balance or credit balance? Suman's account has debit balance, right? You debited 50,000 earlier, now you debited 600. How much is the total debit balance? 50,600. So this is receivable or payable to Suman? Is this receivable or payable to Suman? R or P? It is R. Receivable is 50,600. It has debit balance, so I have to receive the money. It is an asset, so I have to receive this amount. How much should I receive? 50,600. How much is he going to pay me right now? How much is he going to pay me right now? 20,000 plus 600. He's going to pay me 20,000 along with interest, right? So that is 20,600. So what is the entry when he's paying me the amount? Cash account debit to Suman account. I'll pass compound entries and show you later, but now just see these entries. This is complete conceptual. He's going to pay me 20,600. He had to pay me total 50,600. In that he has paid me 20,600. What about the remaining? How much is the balance in his account? Debit balance was there, 50,600. How much is remaining now? What are we going to do with that? We have a new bill coming in, right? We have a new bill. What is the new bill? What is the entry when there's a new bill? Bill receivable account is debited to Suman's account. How much is the value of the new bill? 30,000 is the value of the new bill. Don't write. Being Suman Hey, wait. What was the sentence given? Okay. Being a new bill accepted by Suman accepted by Suman for balance amount. Okay, I hope you have followed this. Now I will tell you how to pass one single entry. Instead of passing these many entries, we can pass, let us say, one single entry. Let's see how we do it. Taken the red ink and look, now I'm just going to cancel Suman. Suman's account, we have taken all the entries through Suman's account. Instead of taking it through Suman's account, directly we can pass entries. Shall we see how to do it? See, this is the old bill, yes or no? This is the old bill. If you see in all those 4 entries, Suman's account is common. And see how much you have debited to Suman. How much you have debited to Suman? Total debit given to Suman is how much? 50,000 plus 600. How much is the total credit given to Suman? 20,600 plus 30,000. So how much is the credit given to Suman? Total credit 50,600. So you can actually pass one entry, one composite entry combining all the 4 entries. Without considering the Suman's account, we can pass one single entry. How is that passed, sir? Cash account debit. You're receiving some amount upfront. How much is the amount you're receiving upfront? 20,600. He's accepting a new bill. How much he's accepting a new bill for? This is a new asset for you. 30,000. What is this towards? What is this towards? What are these two things towards? The old bill. Is it towards the old bill? Yes. What is the face value of the old bill? 50,000 rupees. Is that it? Or has he something addition is there? In addition to that old bill, is there some addition? Yes. What is that addition? Interest. Income for us, so credit 600. So you can pass one single entry instead of passing 4 entries. Suman's account is completely ignored because you're giving debit and credit. All these entries are passed in one single day. So that is why Suman's account can be ignored and we can pass one single entry. Sir, can we write the net balance of bills receivable? Can I say 20,000? No, sir. These are 2 different bills. These are 2 different bills. You can't write net of, I'll minus this. This is a new bill. This is an old bill. You can't mix it up. Sir, what should we write in the exams? We are all comfortable passing which one? Which one are we comfortable with? We are comfortable with passing the detailed entries. Okay, but if you're comfortable with passing this entry, practice and compound entry is to be passed. In the exams, generally, they will not ask you a big question. It will be a compound entry only. So learn to pass this compound entry. I taught you this because I wanted you to see what happens conceptually. But pass the compound entry, learn to pass the compound entry. Yes, citizen. They will not ask one single entry for 5 marks. They will have some story behind it. And then this is final entry is to be passed. There will be acceptance of the bill and all that. If you pass detailed entries, you may lose marks. It depends on the valuer. You're taking a risk over there. Okay, now in the books of the drawee, you can pass similar entries, but we will not pass similar entries. We'll pass one single entry. Shall we? We'll pass one single entry. Compound entry will be passed. Are you all with me? Yes. Now the case is same. It is exactly the same case. Now tell me what has happened. I have the old bill is gone. What is the face value of the old bill? 50,000. That is gone. I have to pay some cash. Now, when the old bill is going, what should you do with the old bill? Should you credit it or debit it? The old bill is to be credited or debited? It is to be debited, right? It is a bill payable. We have to debit it. So now 50,000 is to be debited. Are you all comfortable? Are you all following this? So this is to be debited. Now, I am going to pay some cash. How much cash I am going to pay? I'll just write randomly whatever is coming to my mind. I'm writing cash. How much I'm paying? 20,600. I have to credit cash with 20,600. I'm accepting a new bill. I'm accepting a new bill. Is this a liability or is this an asset? This is a liability. New bill is a new liability. How much is the new bill face value? 30,000. So the total 30 plus 2,600 is to be credited. Why is that 600 rupees additional being paid? It is towards interest. Interest is my expense or interest is my income? What do you think it is? It is an expense. How much is it? We have to debit interest with 600 rupees. So just remember like this. What am I settling? What am I settling? That is to be debited. How am I settling? That is to be credited. What am I settling? I am settling the old bill, which is to be debited. How am I settling? Old bill and interest also. I have to pay interest also 600 rupees. How am I settling? I am settling it through cash and a new bill. So the entry is bills payable account debit to, or rather interest is there. How much is the interest? 600, right? Interest account 600. This is an expense for us. Old bill 50,000, expenses 600. To bills payable. This is the new bill 30,000, and I'm paying some towards cash or bank, which is 20,600. Sir, now what if the interest was payable with the new bill and I'm paying only 20,000 right now? What will be the entry? How will it change? Here the cash account will be credited with 20,000 rupees and the new bill amount will be what? 30,600 rupees. That's all the change will be. Narration. Yes, you can write old new in the exams also, no problem. Being old bill along with interest on the remaining balance settled partly through cash payment and partly through a new bill. That is also fine, Srikanth. There's one more case. I think we'll do this in the afternoon. We'll close this chapter. Sir, in case 3, when bill is endorsed to Sanjay, noting charges will be paid in hand by Sanjay as he's holding the bill on maturity date. But why do we credit cash account as if we are paying noting charges in hand? Who is crediting Chandan? We have not credited in Raju's books. Have we credited cash? No, we have not. In Sanjay's books only we have credited. In Sanjay's books only we have credited 100 rupees because he is paying. It's okay, Shashank, you can write. In Sanjay's books, we have to credit, no cash. So we have credited cash because the bill is with endorsee. It is with Sanjay. We have endorsed it to him. We have given it to him. So the physical possession of the bill is with him. So he's the one who's paying the notary public. So that is why in his books we have credited cash. Okay, we'll break for lunch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, students, for this session now. And dear students, please note, from tomorrow we'll be migrating to Trisha Plus platform. So no more the classes will be scheduled in YouTube. So please make a note of it. So we'll be meeting again tomorrow in Trisha Plus, and now at 2 p.m. for the account session. Thank you.